Okay, Commissioners Markham,
Here.
Middleton,
Here.
Gershenson, McGillivray,
Here.
Quarles,
Here.
Powell,
Here.
Long is running late, Kowal,
Here.
Zach,
Here.
do we have Mr. Gershenson?
Here.
Okay,
We have a quorum. Now let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Here's my flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
Thank you. With that, do we have any, I need an approval of the agenda. And I do want to change the agenda that was sent to us and move number 10 up to number 2 is what I heard. And then forgive us, Art, I will do you afterward. So I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended. So moved by Commissioner McGillivray, supported by, was that Commissioner Powell?
Madam Chair, if I may I say that getting agenda items an hour before the meeting is, in my mind, it's disrespectful to us as an institution, as the Board of Commissioners. We have no opportunity to read this ahead of time. It's not even informational. We're expected to vote on it. It could be wonderful. It could be the best thing ever. But how long is this going to go on that we're going to get things an hour ahead of a committee meeting? I just think that it's we're living life as I know we're in a state of emergency, but living life like it's a state of emergency is it's just too much. I'm really just kind of not at all happy about this. I'm letting that be known that I think that we should insist upon getting things in a more timely manner. Thank you.
So I'm going to accept responsibility and apologize about getting that, but my understanding was that the PPE resilience was sent out yesterday, and I wasn't sure that this, I didn't add it to the agenda, and it was suggested to me yesterday that it would be good to have more commissioners hear it. So I added it on yesterday afternoon. It was sent out, and I apologize that you didn't have more correspondence, more time to review it. Commissioner Middleton.
Yeah, that's on item number 10, but item number 4, we had no preempt or knowledge of that one at all. It's not only on item number 10, but it's item number 4 that got added and with no chance to do
Well,
back.
number 4 was something once again that was brought to my attention after I approved the agenda that it needed to go forward. So, it's brownfield development, redevelopment, renewing something that we've done before, and I agreed to put it on. It is a time-sensitive matter. So I hear you, and I certainly, as chair, will do the best I can so that you get things in a timely manner. Any other comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Now we move on to the consent agenda. I'm sorry. Now we move on to communications. I need a motion to receive and file. Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Quarles. Any discussion on the communication agenda? Seeing that, Commissioner Middleton, do you have
Yeah, what happened to public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped over it. I'm sorry. Let's move into public comment. Is there any public comment?
Currently, no, your lines are open and stable and there are no callers
Thank
and no
you.
online submissions.
Thank you. Public comment, seeing no public comment, it's closed. That takes us back to the communications. We have a motion and a second to receive and file. Do I have any discussion on this? Seeing none, let's call the roll to receive and file.
Madam Chair, you can do a
I
voice
don't
vote.
need that. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, with that, we move on to the consent agenda. And I need a motion to approve all the items on the consent agenda. Commissioner Kowal, supported by Commissioner McGilvray. Is there any discussion about the consent agenda? Seeing none, then I need a roll call vote, please.
On the consent agenda, Commissioners Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 8 yeas and 0 nays. Motion carried
Thank
unanimously.
you. Now we move on to the regular agenda, and we're going to take up what is item number 10 first, County Executive, Economic Development and Community Affairs, resolution approving the appropriation of coronavirus aid relief and economic security CARES Act funding to establish the Oakland County Personal Protection Equipment PPE Resilience Program. Do I have a motion to approve it? Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Quarles. And we have
Point of
Deputy,
order, Madam Chair. I believe that when we approve the agenda, we move that up to item number, okay, never mind. I'm wrong. Thank you.
and we have Deputy County Exec Sean Carlson to give us an overview, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the invitation to the Finance Committee. This did go through the Pandemic Committee on Monday, and it was approved unanimously at that committee. PPE resilience. This was brought up by, I think it was Commissioner Kuhn, who asked, I believe it was last week, do we have anything for manufacturers? And at that point in time, I had shared with him that we were working on a program with Automation Alley that looked at our small and medium-sized manufacturers to help us with PPE resilience, personal protection equipment. During the crisis in March and February, we're very grateful to our citizens. I think it was reported yesterday that we received over 1.5 million masks from various golf courses, charity organizations, and so forth for our citizens and first responders that we were able to organize through the Emergency Operations Center. As you all know, you also supported the Saving Business, Saving Lives grant, which was $1 million focusing on some of our companies here in Oakland County to help us with gowns like Vaughn Sporting Equipment's up in Oxford, or Detroit Sewn and Pontiac with face masks, and other organizations. But this program here is $10 million for our small and medium-sized manufacturers. We are going to be looking to target 300 manufacturers in Oakland County. As you've heard me say before, Oakland County is unique in the fact that we are part of this Detroit metro region. Manufacturing has always been a main staple of Michigan, but we found ourselves not only in this region in Detroit and Michigan, but all of the United States having to rely on foreign countries such as China for a lot of our equipment. Part of this program is to make sure that we're less reliant next time that there's a spike, next time there's a wave 2, whether with COVID-19 or the next pandemic. We need to support our small manufacturing companies. And part of this program is working with Automation Alley, who is recognized by the World Economic Forum as the hub for North America, not for Michigan, for North America, in regards to helping with Industry 4.0. And that is helping our small mom and pops who might have been producing something for years and years and years, but kind of get caught up. And part of that is this program, I liken it very similar to what's called the Defense Production Act. The federal government, you might know that the president came into Ford Motor Company in Ypsilanti about a month ago. That plant was transitioned to focus on PPE. What we're looking to do is to help support and make sure that we have manufacturers right here in Oakland County that can step up for us the next time that there's a spike, so that we're less reliant, like I said, on other foreign countries for those supplies, and also that we can take matters in our own hands. And we had a couple of PPE equipment that was coming to Michigan that got intercepted by FEMA and was sent in other places as well. So that's one of the things that this will help us to do. So so what I'm going to do is just kind of pause right there and then be happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do we have any questions? Commissioner Colwell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, if this passed pandemic unanimously on Monday, I don't understand why we got it like just before 6 o'clock, apparently yesterday. And some of us choose to spend their grandson's birthday with their grandson. So at one point, we're criticized for trying to be a committee of the whole. And then when we're not, following every committee that goes on, here we are. So what is this equipment for? Can somebody please explain it? I understand, is there something to do with 3D printers or whatnot? I have questions about, I guess a lot of companies have already converted over to make PPEs. I know that like Kamau, for instance, is making masks. I'm sure others are. We did have $700,000 worth of grant funding that we gave to that end. I guess this is a step beyond that, but I just like to know about how is this program going to be going forward? What's the longevity of it? Is the equipment going to be useful for other things, or is it just for this? I have a lot of questions, and I haven't really had a time to look at it.
So the equipment, so the money will be used for training. It'll also be used for 3D printers in the amount of anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 that will be placed in these companies. So if they have already embraced Industry 4.0, those aren't the companies that we are targeting with this grant. We're looking for those mom and pop organizations that have not embraced, because if COVID-19 doesn't knock them out of business, Industry 4.0 will. So this is an opportunity to help those companies embrace that, transition to that, and also have an opportunity to stay in business with another product line should there have to be a shutdown of the economy again. So we are targeting, like I said, 300 companies. We'll have a better sense by the end of September whether we've targeted and we can achieve that number. If we can't, then money will be coming back to the to be reappropriated. Because what we don't want to be doing is we need to be able to target, and in the next 60 days from when this passes, we'll be targeting those companies and lifting them off. The PPE that they'll be producing will be ventilator parts, ventilators themselves, face shields, face masks, gowns, booties, all the things that we were procuring during the pandemic.
Thank you, Sean. That's a pretty good explanation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Commissioner Middleton.
Yeah, Sean, I was concerned about the people that are going to oversee who gets the contracts. You're going through the same three people that, or two people. I think Phil Wipers represents our caucus on the, I forget what the name of the title of the committee is, but they look at the recipients to see if they're qualified. This is 30 million, isn't it $10 million, $30,000 per max? Is this enough oversight?
Well, first of all, we're going to be working very closely with Automation Alley on this. And we've also, we'll be working with Automation Alley to identify those companies and get the applications and see who's approved. The Oversight Committee will have final approval of who they're recommending. So they'll be handling that process. We'll work with them on the applications, but we'll be coming back to that Oversight Committee that will have final approval.
And the board is out of the picture completely then? Well, other than those, the three people that are on the Oversight Committee are commissioners, but then we're done, right?
That's my understanding. I mean, that's how it's written with the Oversight Committee being in place.
Because we got the notice late, I called or emailed Wipers, Bill Wipers, who's our representative, and haven't had a chance to have a response. So I'm going to vote no on this for a couple reasons. One is to make sure it doesn't go on the consent agenda, and the other is to wait for a response from Bill. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have any other questions? So I want to address Commissioner Middleton. I served on the Oversight Committee for the United Way grants, and we did review all of the grantees, and we did have some, ability, if we didn't feel somebody was deserving, the Oversight Committee can decide not to approve what is recommended to us as well. So there is actual oversight and the appropriate supervision from the county, from the commissioners. So, but I hope that you'll choose to vote for it when we have our whole meeting tomorrow. So, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, yes, Commissioner Kowal.
I just want to state for the reasons that I mentioned earlier that I'll be voting no, and I hope to be a yes tomorrow night after some more consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Carlson?
Yeah, Madam Chair, and if any commissioners have any other questions, feel free to give me a call. I'll be happy to answer those offline. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
On item number 10, Commissioners Middleton,
No.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Powell. Commissioner
Yeah.
Powell,
Yes.
okay. Commissioner Kowal,
No,
Markham,
Yes.
and Zach,
Yes. Motion carries.
6 yeas and 2 nays.
Thank you. Now we move on to item number 2, facilities management, facilities maintenance and operations, medical examiners, refrigerator and freezer replacement project. And welcome, Art Holsworth.
Thanks, Elaine. This is a equipment replacement. There is a walk-in refrigerator and freezer over at the medical examiner's office. Obviously, the medical examiner is a mission-critical department of the counties. We've had several problems with these over the last couple of years, including moisture leakage and mold development in the container that surrounds the freezer and refrigerator. It's been moving along for a while now, so we have included this in the capital improvement plan. We have the costing and the bidding done, and so now we're coming to the board with a resolution for approval of the funds to actually replace the units. And I'll take any questions that there might be.
You're muted, Commissioner Zach. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I was just saying, I need a motion. So Commissioner McGilvray moves it, and who's supporting it? Commissioner Quarles. And now I'll take questions and comments. Is there anybody? And I want to recognize that Commissioner Long is with us. Okay. Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Okay, seeing none, let's call the roll.
On item number 2, Commissioners Gershenson. Commissioner Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Colwell. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Commissioner Colwell.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes,
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays.
motion carries. We move on to item number 3. Economic Development Community Affairs approval of Main Street, Oakland County COVID-19 Small Business Relief Program Grant Agreement. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Powell, supported by, was that Commissioner McGilvray? Thank you, and welcome Brett Razagan.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I'm here with John Bry. John is our Main Street Coordinator Program for the county program. We are seeking your approval of the agreement and one-time reallocation of funds from professional services to the regranting program line item to support a crowdfunding campaign that John developed with our local communities. And the funds raised through the campaign will go through downtown business relief efforts related to COVID, things like small business grants, purchasing PPE for customers and businesses, and also marketing programs for our downtowns. Of our 25 program communities, we've had 21 participate, and 17 of the 21 have already met their fundraising goals. So it's going along quite well so far. John is here if you have more specific questions about the program. And in total, we expected to raise about $300,000 for our participating downtowns. The county match, the donations through crowdfunding, and the local programs are also contributing funds. So it'll produce about $300,000 for our Main Street small businesses. Thank you very much, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Do I have any questions? Seeing none, I want to thank you. It's a very creative model. I certainly have seen the fundraising on my different social media platforms, and I think it's great. Another way to support small business creatively and get promotion out there at the same time.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, let's call the roll, please.
On item number 3, Commissioners McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Colwell,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes,
Motion carried unanimously, 9-0.
Thank you.
Thank you
Moving
very
on-
much.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 4, Economic Development and Community Affairs, Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, Eagle Brownfield Redevelopment Program, Renew Michigan Grant Acceptance. I need a motion. Commissioner Quarles, supported by Commissioner Colwell.
Good morning, Brad Hanson here from Economic Development. Dan Hunter is currently up north on vacation, so I'll be filling in for him. This grant acceptance actually came to the front of the EGI board back in February 25th for the grant application. This grant is for $1 million to clean up lead from a property in Oxford Township, which currently houses the House of Providence, which is a foster care home for children. This cleanup will help clean up the property for where this property is, and also facilitate future construction of more foster care beds for children. This property was a former hunt club, so that's where the lead comes from, is old ammo that got deposited on the site. So the grant, $1 million, is going to be used for roughly $920,000 to cleanup costs. And we have a $80,000 line item for administrative and oversight of the cleanup. With that, that's pretty much explains the program, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Do I have any questions? Seeing none, let's call the roll, please.
On item number 4, Commissioners Quarles,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Colwell,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes,
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you. Item number 5, Information Technology, Kronos Incorporated Contract Extension through 2023. And we have Mike Tim with us today. Do I have a motion? Commissioner Markham, supported by Commissioner McGillivray. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a contract extension with Kronos, who is a vendor that we use in Children's Village. We also do use the product in IT and in the sheriff. And Kronos is a tool that does time tracking for hourly rated employees. It interfaces today with our PeopleSoft system. And as you know, PeopleSoft is being replaced. In fact, we're scheduled to go live with the HR portion of PeopleSoft here later in July for payroll starting in August. So the Kronos contract is one we have been working on, the integrations between Kronos and now with Workday. And we are asking that this contract be extended. And that's the purpose of this resolution beyond the normal 5-year process.
Any questions from the committee? Okay, seeing no questions, let's call the roll.
On item number 5, Commissioners Powell,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Colwell,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles, Commissioner Quarles,
Yes. Yes.
and Zach.
Yes,
You have 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carried unanimously.
thank you. Item number 6, Information Technology, Comprehensive IT Services Interlocal Agreements. I need a motion. Commissioner Middleton, supported by Commissioner Quarles.
Thank you again, Commissioners. These are standard IT service agreements, primarily for our online payments and over-the-counter payments. You'll also see one of them is a renewal of Clemis services for the 32B District Court in Grosse Pointe Park. One of these is a new customer, Chesaning Township, which is up in Saginaw County. They'll be subscribing to the online payments and over-the-counter payments. Again, just for your background, for some of you that are not familiar with these, they are standard agreements that we have worked with Corporation Counsel in order to provide IT services to entities, government entities, both within Oakland County and also now outside. If you have any questions on any of them specifically, I'm happy to answer.
Do we have any questions? Okay. Seeing none, let's call the roll.
On item number 6, Commissioners Long,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays. Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you. Item number 7. Thank you. Item number 7, Human Resources Memorandum of Agreement for Interest Arbitration with Oakland County Deputy Sheriff's Association. I need a motion, please. Commissioner Long, supported by Commissioner McGillivray. And welcome Deputy County Exec April Lynch. Want to tell us about this, please?
Good morning. Can all hear me okay, correct? This is we've had a conversation about this a few times with the board. We had a resolution on April 13th, miscellaneous resolution 20057 that allowed me to go into a memorandum of understanding with both the sheriff and the command unit. What you have before you is the MOU that has been vetted by our labor attorney as well to make sure that the language that we needed to allow them to go into 312 if necessary was available. So what you have before you is the request of a formal MOU that we would sign to allow that and enter that into our contract. I'm happy to answer any questions as well.
Thank you. Do you have anybody have any questions? I don't see any, so call the roll.
On item number 7, Commissioners Cowell, Commissioner Cowell,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
Madam Chair, motion passed unanimously, 9-0.
Thank you. Now we have item number 8, Human Resources Memorandum of Agreement for Interest Arbitration with Oakland County Command Officers Association. I need a motion, please. Commissioner McGillivray, supported by, I need a support. Commissioner Markham, thank you. April?
The same as before, we did the same thing with the command unit. So again, both vetted by our labor attorney to ensure that the right language is available.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this one? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
On item number 8, Commissioners Markham,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 0 nays.
Item number 9, Human Resources Memorandum of Agreement for Election Day Holiday with Oakland County Command Officers Association. I need
As
a
you know-
motion, please. I need a motion. Commissioner Quarles, supported by Commissioner Powell. Thank you. April?
Sorry, I jumped the gun there. As you know, the Board of Commissioners passed miscellaneous resolution 19349 to declare Election Day as a holiday. While most of the other unions were fine with that resolution, this union would request a memorandum of understanding for them to enter into a contract. So the request here is to take the formal holiday and put it into a contract for this time period.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this one? Okay. Seeing no questions or comments, please call the roll.
Number 9, Commissioners Middleton,
No.
Gershenson,
Yes.
McGillivray,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Long,
No.
Cowell,
No.
Markham,
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 6 yeas and 3 nays. Motion carried.
Thank you. Do I have any other business that members of the committee? Yes, Commissioner Middleton.
2 things. One, my no vote was because I voted originally I voted no for the holiday, voting holiday on the original resolution. I felt it consistent to vote no here. The other issue is on my agenda, when I haven't been able to use return to agenda, probably on these resolutions. So if Chris takes note that return to agenda isn't working. Thank you.
Got that,
I-
Commissioner. The issue with that is when we update the agenda later on, it's very difficult for Joanne to get those links to work.
Okay, thank you.
I
Okay.
had that experience too, so thank you. I do want to talk today, the county exec budget will be released online. It is July 1st. We will be getting our hard copies next week, and we'll figure out how we're going to get them physically, whether we pick them up or Chris Ward will figure that out for us. And we're working on, once we know when the county exec is going to do the presentation, we're working on looking at a budget hearing schedule. And I would welcome any members of the finance committee, if there are things that you would like to, ideas or thoughts about what you'd like to hear about during our budget hearings, any critique, comments, I would welcome those so that we can add them into the process. So any questions, comments about that? Thank you. If there's no further business, I will move that we adjourn the meeting at almost 10:15.